just feel so weird. Y'all, there's only two of us tonight. It's very strange.
Listen.
To not have the trio.
You're getting the best perspectives.
Actually, this is our master plan. That's right. Actually, this is our master plan coming to fruition. We've been trying to get rid of him for years.
For years, we've been trying to get rid of him for years.
Y'all, so Aubrey had some technical difficulties tonight that was going to have him starting the episode late. And he couldn't bear to miss any minutes of it. And so for that reason, he didn't watch the episode yet. And so he didn't watch it real time with us tonight. And of course, he's not going to be on right now to recap. And he's not even going to watch this until he sees the show because he doesn't want the spoilers.
Until he sees, listen, y'all, he is committed. He is committed. He is not trifling like me and Janai. Janai and I, we are trifling, honey.
Yeah, I mean, if I miss a couple of minutes, I'm like, oh, I got most of it. That's plenty.
Literally missed the beginning trying to get dinner. And I called Janai like, oh, what did I miss? And I still feel qualified to get on here right now.
I gave you a top-notch recap and it was fine.
You gave me the gist.
That's exactly right. So
T commented on the bottom. I haven't watched it yet. I know Portia said that she's going on. Rachel said, hey, beautiful ladies. Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Esquire. Hi, how are you? Esquire is a local podcast host. He is
hi, Esquire.
Intelligent and hilarious. We had some good people on here. Listen, Rachel is
let's get started, sis. I mean, without Aubrey on, I mean, this is going to be probably a more efficient and much better than ever.
Won't start now.
Conversation.
So good.
He is. This was a bad idea for me to make that joke. So for those who are
big time.
Those who are new to us, we are The Right Perspective. We are a podcast. You can find us on every single podcast platform. And we are siblings that recap movies and television shows that are considered iconic. And we have one show that we're discussing in real time, and it's This Is Us. Most of the stuff we look at has happened already. So the one thing that we are looking at real time is This Is Us, because this show is so good. And since I'm getting a little bit of an echo.
My bad.
I don't know if you can, if you're okay, got it. All right. I'm still getting a little bit of an echo. Do you have your headphones in?
I totally forgot my headphones.
Okay.
We're live. I'm going to get them. Be right back.
Grab them. And in the meantime, I'll get us rolling. So tonight we are going to discuss season 5, episode 5. This Is Us. It just aired tonight. And we watched the 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time showing January 5th. And wow, that's my first time saying out loud, we're in 2021.
Listen.
Here we go. I just haven't really processed it because I've been on vacation. So the date hasn't meant anything. It's 2021. Woo! So tonight's episode was juicy. We don't work because we try to keep these pretty short. We're not going to do a recap. We're going to assume that you've watched it and we're just going to hop into discussion. Okay.
Let's do it.
So let's start with the Kate storyline, sis. Kate, we found that at the end of the last episode that she had an abortion when she was 18. And this episode, we kind of dug in there. And I just really appreciated the way the show gave her an opportunity that you don't always get, which is to go back and confront the person that done you wrong. I mean, that kind of closure just does not always happen. And so Kate gets to go back and actually confront the abusive boyfriend. And the other thing I thought was so epic about that, sis, was that as much as this has been such a significant part of her journey in terms of her reflection and her current self-image and all the demons she's been battling with. The truth is, it was only 6 months of her life. You know, when you start to think about that, you start to understand how much a day can impact you forever. Listen, you know, and so we've been watching her for 20 years live in that 6 months.
That is something that's so pivotal, and I'm so happy you brought that up, because I don't know if you've heard before, but wherever trauma happens is where you stay. Like, unless you've dealt with that trauma, it is where you are. And so you can relive that at any moment if it's something that you're not actually processing and dealing with. And so the amount of power we give to someone, it is amazing. What we can take away our power, and we can give it away for so long. She hadn't seen this man in years.
Yes. Okay. And sis, my friend just texted me. We didn't say our names. Hi. Sorry. I'm Janiyah Wright, and I'm the middle child. And we're missing tonight the oldest on the right perspective, which is Aubrey Wright, our older brother.
And I am Brittany Wright, the youngest.
The baby. So keep going, sis.
And every sense of the word. And shout out to Shelty and our cousin Frank that have joined the call.
Hey, Shelty. Hey, Frank.
Hey, Shelty.
Yes, sis. I appreciate you saying that. It's like, it doesn't matter the duration of the trauma. It doesn't matter when it happened. Trauma is trauma. And if you haven't processed it, if you haven't dealt with it, you're stuck. You're stuck. It's just the way it goes. And I mean, I and it doesn't mean you're stalled. It just means you've got some work to do. And tonight, Kate got to do that work. She got to confront.
She got to do that work.
And it's not the whole work, because there's still more work. But she got to confront this person that had been such an emotional terror for her all these years. Just haunted by this.
And still a bum.
Oh, boy, was he a whack attack.
Listen. If a whack attack was in the dictionary, it would be a picture of him like this.
Yeah. On MySpace. Talking about, I have a band. I have a band doing such and such. Sir, you work at a record store. Nobody even has records. What are you doing?
Listen, and I forgot that he was 24. When she said you were 24, I was 18.
You were an adult.
I forgot. Mm-hmm. And I just felt terrible when I thought about that. How often did we know growing up, girls around that age that were dating men that were that age? You know, just that.
And we thought it was special and cute. Ooh, he's older.
It was special and cute.
That's not great. That's
not super awesome, sir.
Kids are just so... Why don't children... Kids say parents and adults don't understand. Kids, you don't understand. You don't have enough information.
Yeah. You need more information.
You need more information, because it's like, why do young girls do that?
And why do we think it's cool?
Just dating older guys. And why did we think it was cool?
Because you know what? Many times we are socialized like, oh, girls, they mature faster than men, which may be true in some aspects, but you're 18. He's 24.
Yep. And also it's that whole socialization of the man is the provider, the man is the dominant force, the man must choose you. All of that programming. And I will just say, it's even like the man is taller than you. The man must like physically dominate you.
Oh gosh.
It's like there are so many ways in which all that culmination of all of those things equals older man. Right? He's supposed to have more money. He's supposed to be more established. He's supposed to have more experience. So y'all, it's just the okie doke. It's just another example.
It's just the okie doke. And I also think sometimes these older men, they're excited to be able to have what they have, because people at their age are not impressed. But people who are younger than them.
Children. Oh, look at you. You work at a record store.
Listen, but I will tell
That's
you
not
in this
great.
episode, that's not super awesome. Unless, I mean, do what you do. No shade if you're working there, but just listen.
No, no. I think
Stay in your
I
lane.
celebrate
Stay in
all
your lane.
paths. I celebrate all paths. I'm just saying that perspective is everything. That's the point. That's the point. Do you,
Exactly.
everybody? Do
And I
you?
will tell
I'm doing me.
you,
You do you.
we doing ourselves.
We do it.
I will
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
you, and I will tell you, my favorite part though was watching Kate as her 18-year-old self attempting to go and tell Mark, listen,
Oh,
I'm pregnant, okay?
ah.
But Mark couldn't help but be himself. He
There
was
you
not
go.
himself for the first 10 minutes because he had to cook. So that means that he wasn't even talking to her when he was making this bagel and coffee and this her favorite
Being the
breakfast.
sweet. Yep.
But as soon as what he wanted wasn't happening, who he truly is came out. His
Yep.
annoyed side, upset, and she flipped back in her mind to seeing her parents as they were sitting on the couch and started watching a movie. And her mind flipped back to seeing her parents watching television, and how they were just cracking up and enjoying themselves. And she wasn't having that with him. He was sitting there with an attitude and then went to go get a beer.
Mm-hmm.
But while he was going to get
Yep.
that beer, 18-year-old Kate left, never told him about the baby. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see cut to grown Kate after she has gone
Grown
forward,
Kate
told Mark about himself, and
told him
said,
real
here,
good.
no, you can have that back. She
Girl,
gave
she
that
told
back
him
to
to the
him.
left, to the right, okay,
Okay.
up,
Then
down, back
you
round the
cut to
corner.
listen, but you cut
Told
to seeing
him.
her sitting on the couch with Toby, laughing and enjoying that same exact movie. The
Mm,
fantasy that she had in her mind with the right man, with the
love
right
it.
person.
Love it. And
She
what did
had
you
her
think?
moment.
What did you think of Toby in this episode? I mean, Toby, I appreciated that he was just kind of like, you had plenty of opportunities to tell me about this as we have been talking about pregnancy and dealing with parenting and frankly just together working through demons. That's really what their relationship has been one of
Yeah.
growth for each of them on individual levels as they've grown up as a couple. And he's like, nope, you've had plenty of opportunities to tell me. What did you think of how Toby showed up for Kate?
I think this is why friendship and relationship is important, and why true compatibility and true loyalty are so important in a relationship,
Mm,
because I know you now. You are my friend. We've been through things, through so many things.
yep.
And you're right. I'm not going to treat you like the victim, because I know that that's not what you like.
Mm,
That's not you, because that's not who you are. This is just a circumstance, something you have gone through.
mm.
So I appreciate Toby, who he was as her friend, as her lover, as her confidant, as her husband.
Yes.
I
Yes.
loved how he showed up for Kate in this moment, and didn't try to dominate or press or do anything like that. He played by ear what she wanted to do. And the fact that he went with her to go see an ex-boyfriend, her husband
Yep.
went with her to go see an ex-boyfriend. You guys, that is huge, because he wasn't feeling any kind of way. He didn't feel
Except for
intimidated.
except for frustrated that Kate had that
Listen,
experience.
ready to kill
He
him.
said, "Let me find him and kill him." Toby was upset, which I was happy to see
Toby was
that.
mad. So yeah, how about you, sis? How did you feel?
Listen, Toby, I there have been some moments where it is very few, but there have been moments where I've been like, Toby, what are you doing there? But for the most part, Toby he shows up for Kate in so much love and completeness that is just amazing. It's just amazing. And I love that the show doesn't have him be perfect, because he's not
Absolutely.
perfect. And I love that. I love that. I
Me
will
too.
say, like, to me, there is something about this show now, it's like I did have just one little moment of and this is just me always just like raging, like I'm always like these types, because it's
Listen.
like whenever it's like, oh, she's finding her completeness in a romantic relationship. I'm not saying that's wrong, because love is beautiful, and
Sure.
again, you do you, I'll do
Sure.
me. Let's all do however you want to do whatever you want
Sure.
to do. But I
Sure.
am just saying that there's something about me that wishes that she was alone
Mm.
when that happened, and that I kind of wanted her to have that complete that closure as a woman, as herself, as an individual. And it's not that she didn't, because somebody was with her.
I was about to
Someone being
say, I
with you
thought she
does not
did.
take away from, well, I mean, she
Mm.
did. Anyway, that it was just a little something. There was a skosh, like it's a little bit of me that was like, I wish she had been alone to just have that triumph. Not that it took away from it that Toby was there, but for me, it would have been just really powerful for her to have been in that as an individual. And I also wish that she had had some kind of reference point as she was reflecting back on a happy couple. I wish that she was reflecting back on a well-rounded woman that had, done her thing. So anyway,
But
that's just that I had a little bit of that. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
can understand. I can understand that. I can see where that comes from. But I guess that whole saying, like, no man is an island, right?
No, you
Like,
ain't. No, you ain't.
you are in a community, and sometimes your community is showing up as your romantic partner. Sometimes it's showing up as your friend.
Preach,
Because you better
sis.
believe, had she been single, she would have had to process with somebody after she did that, whether it be a therapist, whether it be a friend, clergy member, her mom, just someone, Kevin. She would have had to process with someone.
And I want
So
to talk to the people just for a moment and not talk to Brittany, because Brittany just very specifically chose that little quote, "No man is an island," because she was targeting me. I just want you all to know that, because that is something that that our mother used to say to me in my earliest memories. Like all my life, mommy's
I
like,
did not know that.
"Sis, did you not know that?" Oh, look,
No.
now I need to have a community to help me process, because yeah, mom.
I'm gonna just take a moment
Our
while you say,
mother.
Thank you, Maurice. We love you too. Maurice Smith said he loves us.
Oh, hey, Maurice.
And
Oh
Rachel made a
man.
point. She did say, why didn't we question 20-some-year-old men when they're dating high school? Like, wait, why didn't we
We
question
think
why
it.
a 20-some-year-old man was dating someone in high school? Exactly.
We
Hit it on
thought
the
it was
head.
so cool. And even in
So
middle
cool.
school, trying to date high school
Uh,
boys. Stop it, girls. Oh, just don't do that
it's a
anymore,
thing.
younger
But yeah,
generations. All right,
I
but
don't
we got to keep
remember.
moving.
I don't remember your mom saying that to you.
Oh, all the time, as recently as like not long ago. So yeah, there's there's a constant
She
messaging, and
said
I
it to
think it
me
is helpful.
yesterday.
I think it is helpful because I am a person, I skew toward independence, and I don't think that's bad. You do need your community, and I have a great community, but it's just that specific phrase gave me a little bit of trauma when you just said that. So anyway, let's keep moving. So
And as part of your community, we can
you
process
just
that
triggered a little
after
something.
this Zoom video.
I just wanted to show up in transparency. I wanted to just walk in my truth
I appreciate
about
that.
that.
I appreciate that.
So yeah, I wanted to
Thank
walk in my
you.
truth. And just
Thank
show up as my
you.
whole self here. So if
Mm.
Aubrey was on, he would be like, "Y'all, we're already 2 minutes over. Rah, rah, rah. I'm Aubrey. I'm the boss of everything. I'm
You guys,
the oldest. Man, I'm the
we're so
timekeeper.
free. We're
Man."
so free right now.
Let's keep going. So let's go to the next. Anything else on
Okay,
Kate and
okay.
Toby?
No,
Anything
we're
else on
good. We're
them?
done. We gotta
Okay,
move to
let's
Kev.
go.
We gotta
We
move
got
to
to keep moving.
Kev.
Let's go to Kevin. So Kevin, his whole thing, he's with Madison. started as a hookup. They're now in a relationship and they've fallen for each other. They've fallen hard.
Mm.
And you can always analyze the why and the how of love, but they're in it. They're in it. They're now also having
They're
twins.
in it.
And and it's like tonight's episode, Kevin has taken a movie with Madison's encouragement and support, and the movie relocated, and he's now going to be away for a month. And she was
Yeah.
encouraging it, but then as they started looking for nannies, she's now has like trepidation, like when they start to talk about like the future of him being a movie star.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, she was somehow wanting to reject their future of just him as a movie star. And we know she's been grappling with that since the beginning.
Yes.
But tonight it really showed up in a way that I thought was I struggle with Madison tonight. I'm not gonna lie. Because Madison, she's like, no, Kevin, you go away for this month and you go on this movie set and you use that time to think about whether you're committed to this, to if this is what you really want, is our married life together. And I'm like, Madison, you're asking him not just to commit to you, you're asking him to like somehow like sunset his career. What are you asking?
Yeah.
You want him to like come like have some kind of 9-to-5 job? That's not a fair kind of set of options. So I struggled with her tonight.
Yeah. You know what? Some part of me thinks that there are these circumstances where it's easy to say something. But when things are getting put into action, people you don't realize you're not counting the cost before you're taking the journey. Right? Like you're not actually thinking about that. Like even from the beginning in her letting Kevin know that she was pregnant. Like, oh, I'm pregnant. By the way, I'll do it by myself. I'm sorry. You know what family he's come from. Is that a serious statement?
Right.
So I think that there is some parts of her that are distant from realities of situations. And so the truth is, maybe this is a lot right now, Madison, for you to process. Your hormones are all over the place. You're pregnant with 2 babies. They're stealing all your nutrients. Okay, your body is
She
morphing.
can't keep none of her nutrients to herself.
Exactly. It's quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Your baby father is about to be gone for a month.
It's
like
a lot.
You can't, your shoes aren't going to be matching because you can't see your feet and there's no one to put your shoes on for you. It's a lot that's about to be happening. So I will give her grace in that way. The thing that is a little frustrating for me is Kevin still being in this spot of just wanting to make him also not counting the cost before he's taking the journey. He's using words. Like you're using these words, but you're not actually thinking about what that's going to look like to and fro around the world with your wife, 2 babies, and a nanny. That is not an easy thing. I can imagine that wouldn't be an easy task to make sure that they're taken care of. So I just really believe like they're I think that not only is she saying that to him, she's saying that to herself. Girl, you need to figure it out. Are y'all just going to co-parent? Or y'all going to be in a relationship? Like, what is going to happen?
Or are you going to allow yourselves to create a relationship that can work for you? That's the thing. I mean, his career is not. I just don't think it's fair for it to like be home or be away. I just don't think that's fair. I think it's like I think they both need to allow for some nuance. Kevin needs to let go of his like superhero syndrome of like, I'm going to find the perfect solution for everything and be everything you need, Madison. But Madison has to let go of like this whole, like, I have like an idea of what I've always wanted and I want to try to make that happen. And if not, I'm going in some other extreme. I just think they need to meet in the middle and understand that. Let's ask a question about Number one, what would it take for us both to be able to thrive as individuals as we are together in
Yes.
this unit? What does that look like? How do we get to that compromise? That's the name of the game. The big C.
Listen,
Okay?
always, always.
The big
Maurice,
C.
to your point, Maurice Smith, to your point, said that's because Madison has always been superficial.
Oh,
And then you
somebody
have
had to say it.
Rachel. Rach said, though I loved her phrase about him being a family, coming from a family of good speech givers.
That was a good
Madison
line.
did shut it down. Madison said, "Ooh, we're not about to do, we're not about to do the Peterson
I don't need the
speech.
paragraphs. Yep.
We're not doing
Don't need them.
that."
But because they
So
are. They're
yes,
great speech givers.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah, but I get yeah, like both of them, I think. And let me just say, we're watching this televised experience, but I just have to say it's like I think all relationships require some compromise,
absolutely,
especially when you are having to make decisions reactively, which is
yeah,
just the situation they're in. Unfortunately, they are not going to be able to be in the driver's seat for things as much as they want because they didn't walk into this relationship. They stumbled into it. But you in
yeah.
here now. You in here.
Listen, y'all closed the doors. Y'all locked them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We in
yeah,
here.
we in
So
here.
sis, I want to ask you to make a guess, and I want to see if the people who are joining us in the chat will make a guess too. Will Madison and Kevin remain in a relationship by the end of the season? What do you think at this point? Are they going to stay? And again, they're co-parents because they're both committed. They're committed to them
Right.
babies. Will they remain in a relationship at the end of the season? What do you guess?
So my guess is yes. And the reason why my
Mm-hmm.
guess is yes is because Kevin called Randall. And it's funny because on Twitter, there's this picture that Sterling K. Brown, that he posted that they created. And it's like a picture of him like this. And it's like WWRD. What would Randall do? And it's silly. And so it just
Randall's
makes me
so
think
great,
of
though.
he is.
We're going to talk
And so
about
it
him in a
just
minute, but he's so
Liz,
great.
right. Hey
He
Cherie.
is.
Cherie just got
Hey,
logged in.
Cherie.
And so the or Chare, as I like to call her. That's that's my cousin, y'all. That's our cousin, y'all. So
Don't,
the what?
I said, don't have the whole world mispronouncing her name like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not even how you
Share
pronounce it.
Share
That's not it.
Grover.
That's incorrect.
Share. It's Share. And so him calling Randall to me is starting to have him question the importance of family as he
Mm,
reflects on how he left for LA when he was married at 18.
mm.
And it was like, Randall, listen, I'll be back before she even misses me. You never came back. You
Sophie,
two divorced.
they didn't make it.
So again, that's this, you're not allowing reality to set in. And I
Mm-hmm.
think for the first time in his life, he may actually be realizing, I believe I want my family more than I want what's happening in Vancouver. And right now, the
Wow.
key to my family is in Cali.
Mm.
So
Woo.
some things I think about.
Mm. Girl, you just said 25 things there. I'm trying to be conscious of time, but there's so much in what you just said that I want to respond to, but I'm not going to. But
Come back in the comments later and put
yeah,
what
maybe
you wanted to
so.
say.
Because I know we're so tight on time.
We're so tight
Um,
on time.
we're so tight on time. And so I'm gonna really now try to be a better person in
Well, what do
2021
you think?
and stifle. Well, so my guess is that they will not be together. And I think they're going to be
Mm.
great co-parents. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that at the end of the day, Madison knows what she wants. And I think Madison she keeps bringing it up. Even tonight, she brought it up. She's like, well, I already told, she keeps saying, I told you I was going to do this on my own. I told you I'm going to. you know what? She's wanting so badly to be in the driver's seat, for things, and not, I don't see her. I just think she has, and I'm not hating on that. Listen, Madison, you
Right.
know how you kind of want to
Sure.
live, but I am just saying, like, I think that firm line is going to keep her from being able to adjust to what it would take
Mm,
for Kevin's life to go on.
yeah.
And I think Kevin is going to try to compromise because that's what he does. And the way
Yeah.
that I think the way that they're going to end up breaking up is her releasing him, because he'll never, I don't think he
Mm,
would ever break up with her. I think she's going
he's
to have
too
to release him, and she's
responsible.
going to have to draw the hard line and say, no, I want my man to come home at 5:30. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's not your
Rachel.
life.
Well, Rachel made a good point. She said, yes. She said, yes. Since in the flash forward, his girl is sleeping in the other room, though it
Oh,
could be a different girl. But I just have a feeling.
oh,
So she thinks so. Listen, because that's right. That's the house that he builds up on the hill where
mm,
the mom is
oh,
passing. So yeah.
yeah. And Rachel's pointing out that Madison has just been disappointed one too many times, and she's protecting herself. And that's
Mm,
and that's real. That's
and her
real.
babies
That's real. And she has to walk in her truth.
has to.
And it's like, I think the things for me personally, the things when I regret something, it's because I didn't do what I meant, what my first mind. The thing that
Yeah.
came to me is the thing that was the right thing to do. When I don't follow that,
Mm,
that's when I end up feeling a regret.
yeah.
And since the very
Yeah.
beginning, Madison has been like, I don't want to be a jet set wife. She was
Yeah.
saying that before they even were in a romantic relationship. Just the thought of it was making her walk down the sidewalk staring into the space like lost. So we got to keep moving. Do you remember her? Like, she was like
Yes.
on the
Just walked
sidewalk,
away.
like, I'm grappling. I'm on the sidewalk. I'm grappling with this as I walk, and I'm like pregnant. I'm walking. So let's keep going. So anything else on?
No, I think we're
Okay,
good.
we got to keep moving. All right. So now
We
let's
done
get
with
to
the
Randall.
potatoes. Let's get to the meat.
Oh man. And speaking of meat, let's talk about Randall. That's not
The
fair.
beefcake.
That's not
The
fair. The
beefcake.
only reason I used that segue was because he had the end of the last episode, he had a video that went viral with him dancing in
Wow,
his
chicka,
office.
wow,
And the
wow.
good news is he came off as looking very charismatic and fun and nice, not like a sleazeball, which
Not
is good.
perv.
Not perv. And that's good news because he's a politician. Perv
Listen.
politicians have generally, not always, generally a shorter trajectory, shorter career. So now his coworkers are like making fun of him and like it's now a joke. But because he went viral, he has now been contacted by um, a man, as we all may remember, that knew his mom while she was alive. Now, sis, look,
His
this
name is
whole
High.
time he said hi hi. This whole time, sis, I think Randall's
Hmm.
story is the one that, like, they all of these stories are so good.
Yes.
Randall's story breaks my heart because
Ugh.
it's like he meets his birth father, he's sick. Now he finds out his mother's been alive this whole friggin' time. She was alive until 2015. What?
Are we
Brett, my
saying?
heart, my heart actually it fell out. And my heart fell out. Where is it at? I can't even find it.
Listen, I see
It
her
fell
climbing up
out.
behind you.
Is
It's
it over
climbing up the.
there? Girl, is
It's
it over
climbing
there?
up the bookcase. It's climbing
Because
up
it
the
fell
bookcase.
out of my body because I was like,
You
Randall
dead. You a
cannot.
ghost.
Girl, I'm a ghost right now because I cannot believe that Randall's mom was alive this whole time.
I
And then my
know.
heart broke a second time when I thought about William being deceived. Oh,
Uh,
think about the years that William was tortured dealing with his addiction, thinking she was dead. She wasn't dead.
she wasn't dead.
Sis, what
He
was your
could not
reaction? What
come
was your
back.
reaction?
I was more so watching Randall not want to deal.
Mm.
And watching him and Beth's reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Beth having that person there that makes you pull that emotion out,
Sure.
I think is so pivotal.
Mm-hmm.
And for Beth to be like, this is not a smooch and walk away, you about to go on a run situation. Like
A
what?
peck and run.
This a pet? What? And he had to turn around and face that truth
Mm.
that if my mother was alive, that means William lied to me.
Possibly.
And you as the audience, but it wasn't possibly in his mind. It was if she was alive, he lied. And that and you as the audience, you're sitting there. For me, I was sitting there wanting, I'm looking at the TV. No, she woke back up. He thought she was dead, and they knew that they would take you and put you anywhere. He wanted to make sure
Mm.
he saw where you went. Like you want to scream that to him, but you can't. You can't. He can't hear it because right now, why he has to process this. And so
Mm-hmm.
that right there, I was
Maurice
just
said
more.
facts. Maurice said facts, sis.
Listen, I just had that. So I just felt
Mm-hmm.
bad that
Yeah.
how often do we not know the whole story and we're
Ooh.
basing our emotion off of a piece.
Mm.
And then at some point, maybe not, you get the full story and you realize, wow, how have I been reacting to just 25%,
Mm.
not knowing I'm missing 75% of the
Mm.
story. So I just, that was my thought process. Like, Randall, no, like, don't be mad, don't be upset. Like,
Mm.
he didn't know. He didn't know. So
Yeah.
this is us normally doesn't do this. They normally don't give you that satisfaction at the end of the show. But when he asked those first few questions, I was so relieved.
Oh,
I
Britt,
was
I
so
thought for
relieved.
sure they were going to
Oh,
leave us right hanging on that very cliff where they like to
listen,
leave us. You know, they leave us hanging,
li-
left
they
us
like
hanging
to
right
be
there.
hanging.
They want you hanging, they want you dangling there. And they left us dangling for weeks over winter break.
Oh, very disrespectful.
And so, Britt, I was like, oh my God, there's only like 3 minutes left. They're not going to get any of the information. And then Randall was like, I just have to dig in and ask these questions. I was so grateful. I was
So
so
happy.
grateful. And then, as Maurice is saying in the chat, for him to get that validation, and then just that, and
Yes.
then the tears
Yes,
on his
Maurice.
face,
Yes.
of relief and like, oh my God, my father, that relationship that we had that I've treasured is
Listen.
real. And
Mm,
and it's the same thing for Beth, because you remember Beth had a very special relationship with William.
she
And
did.
so I wouldn't want what they knew of William to be diminished in any way. And
Absolutely.
I was so grateful that it was not. And I'm waiting to see what Hai has to say for himself. Okay.
Listen,
Now,
first
sis,
of
I'm
all,
gonna
listen, I just want to say the fact that I thought that he was in Korea somewhere in a little
they did
hut
that on purpose. They did that on
and
purpose.
he is in New Orleans. I said, on what street, sir?
They
What
did that
street do you
visual.
live on that you living in this little piece of house?
They did that visually on purpose, sis, because they
Ooh,
wanted us to not know
so
where he was or what. Because remember, at first we didn't even know what time zone he was in, or I mean,
listen.
not time zone, time arc.
Period.
What
Yeah, like
decade? We didn't even know, and then they
as
started
if
letting us know. So they
his
wanted it to be
outfit,
mysterious. They trickeried us. That was some.
they
This is us
trickeried
trickerying.
us.
They
that
did. That was trickeration. And
was trickeration.
it was. And since
Mm.
I'm going to ask you another question. Now
Yeah.
we both made a guess on the fate of Madison and Kevin's relationship. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
ask you to make a guess. Do you think that Randall's mother looked for him?
Ooh.
Or do you think she just said, you know what? I I'm not, I have to let it go. Do you
Ooh,
think she
Rachel.
looked? Oh,
You,
I didn't even
Rachel,
think
we're gonna
about
get into
that.
that next. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
Wait.
I didn't even think about that.
Wait a minute. Oh, this family tree, this family tree. Woo. Okay, listen. Oh, help me somebody. Okay, okay.
Rachel, once again,
Rachel, you're showing out. You're showing
you
out right
really
now.
are because I
Okay,
my heart, like I didn't even get to go there yet.
listen, listen. If her and I have kids, help me.
Rachel said in the
Because
chat, "Do you think Randall has siblings?" Look,
uh,
but first, Brittany,
what?
what?
Okay,
Make your guess.
I
Because once
believe
you
the
say this,
answer.
it's officially it's on the internet, so
Okay,
everyone's going to know whether you're right or wrong in the future.
it's on
No
the
pressure.
next. It's on the next. Listen,
All
I say
eternity.
yes. Oh, let me tell you. I say yes. I say yes, she did look
Mm-hmm.
for him. And I will even go a step further. Okay. I will increase, okay, my bet, and I will say that she found him and she watched Randall from afar.
This is me mouth agape at what you've just asserted. And sis, I saw you trying to do a gambling analogy, and we don't know how to play cards.
I
You were,
cannot
yeah,
remember
it's up
what is
the
the
ante.
word.
You wanted to up
Thank
the
you. I
ante.
wanted to up
That's
the ante.
they
I
say on
wanted to up
sitcoms.
the ante on
I'm not
sitcoms. Is
into
what they say.
cards. I don't know, but they up the ante
They up
when
the
they
ante.
throw in more cards or chips. So,
Listen,
well, you know what? Let me say this, sis.
what did I say? I will
Between
increase the bet.
you didn't even say bet. You just
Listen,
said
I don't
I'm
know what
going to
I said.
increase it because you didn't know what to say and it was obvious to all of us, which is why I called you out. So, you're not good at cards.
That's
That's
what we
clear.
are here in the right perspective. We're authentic.
And
We're authentic. Okay. We're
listen, we
authentic.
don't know how to play a lot of cards. Okay, we
Mm-mm.
have very few
Mm-mm.
games that we're good at. That's just the truth.
Mm-mm. This
It's
is
just
the
it
truth.
hasn't been a huge part of our experience. That's just us showing up in our whole as our whole selves and who
For a
we are
long,
and our reality.
for, for a
But
long part of our
between you
lives,
and Rachel
games were equivalent
throwing
with the
these
devil.
things out, listen, listen. This is a lot. This is a lot. And you know what? They could drag this whole thing out for 2 seasons. Let's just be honest. Because
Let's
this could be
go.
a whole windy. What if we're in a situation, sis? And what if what you said is true? That she located him. She was watching him. What if they met at some point?
And listen, I got chills. They're
They're multiplying.
multiplying,
Okay, Brittany, don't
and
start
I'm
saying that because don't get Rachel started on Grease. Don't do it. Because my Rachel loves some Grease. Don't do it. Don't do it. Listen, this is bananas, but guess what else? This is us. Bam. I just used the show name. That's how you wrap it. That's how you wrap a
that's
web
how
cast.
that's how
That's a
you
wrap
wrapped it.
up.
Wait, but you didn't answer the question?
Oh, oh, did I not
Did
answer?
you
Oh,
wrap? Is you
oh,
wrapping up?
silly me.
Is
You know, I'm going to say, I'm gonna say that she, and actually says I feel the same way. I feel like she did find him. I feel like
Mm.
she found him, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to up the ante. I'm going to throw in 2 columns of chips, and I'm going to throw in 3 columns of chips.
Oh,
And
whoa,
you didn't know that third was
whoa.
coming. I'm
What?
throwing in 3 tall columns of chips, and I'm gonna lay down several cards, and I'm gonna say, and they're in a meaningful sequence of some sort, and I'm gonna
Whoa.
say that they met. That's my guess.
Listen,
I'm gonna say
Maurice
that
is a
they met.
skeptic though.
Mm,
Maurice said, no, mother can't watch a fart like that. William barely could have.
I think
What?
she's full of shame.
Mm,
She's full of shame.
she was on that stuff.
Shame.
She didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
on that stuff.
Yep. Oh my God. It's going to be so bad if she did try to contact him or something and the
Uh,
mom got in the way or some kind of crap like that. Anyway.
again?
Oh gosh. Or what if it was the
It's
father this
Rebecca
time?
got in the way again.
What if she
Oh,
tried to get in touch or something? All right.
Janaya. Who you want shame, Jack? Who you
Look,
want shame, Jack?
look. I'm just raising questions
Jack
because this
wouldn't do a
show is
thing
a
like that.
windy It is an onion and it is constantly unpeeling. And
Listen,
we're like, what's under this next layer? You cannot guess
what?
because this show is brilliant.
I'm already grieving the last episode of this show.
Don't talk about it, sis. How
Let's
dare you? How dare you?
already grieving it. When they say the final season, I'm going to say, oh, you're a lie. You better crank out some more. I'm getting
Yeah,
right to NBC Studios.
that's
I
right. Or
know
you
you
know
got
what?
enough.
You know what
Another
I'm gonna do?
87 episodes.
I'm gonna become one of those people that does fan fiction, and I'm just gonna keep it going. This show will never end if I have anything to say with it. All right, sis. Well, we're just out of time.
Ooh.
It's 10:58. Let's see if we can wrap at 11. Sis, do you have a closing thought? Maybe a reflection on how great it was to have this chat without Aubrey? Got him again. Got him.
Oh, God.
I had to get him one more time.
I didn't want no parts of that, so I
Technical
accidentally
difficulties.
blanked myself out. Listen, my reflection, I will say, is that we don't live your life in the past. It's actually something I was talking about today on my Instagram post, which is do not allow your past decisions to define your present decisions. Just allow yourself to be present and new in the moment, but deal with and heal with the things in the past. If there's something that is traumatic, if there's some type of trauma, take time. You owe that to yourself because you're worth it to take that time to heal. But when you do heal, and as you're healing, continue to move forward and never be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid to ask questions and remind yourself you need a community. You have to have a community of people. So
that's going to be my closing thought too, sis. My closing thought is going to be a cosign on that. It's no man is an island. And you need to find community and get the support you need. And also, you know what? Don't nobody have time to fake it. Just keep it real, folks. That's what I got to say to you.
Keep
Madison, Kate, Kev, just everybody. If you just keep it real, you won't regret, because it's like you're being honest. Keep it real. Yeah. Keep it real, folks. It sounds cliche, but it's really words to live by.
It is.
Well, y'all check us out. You can find all of our deets at rightperspectivepodcast.com. You can find us here on Facebook. You can find us on our YouTube channel. We're on all of the podcasting platforms. So you can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. The next movie we're actually going to be our next podcast episode, which we'll post on Saturday, January 9th, is a review and discussion of a movie from our childhood, The Never Ending Story. So that's a teaser. Thank you for joining us, everyone. And if you are a friend or fan of Aubrey, feel free to make him feel bad about tonight. Don't forgive him because of technical difficulties. Really get on him. All right. I love you, sis. Sis, you're my community. I love you.
I love you too, sis. You're my community. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining, everybody.
Bye.